Phases of the Moon. The phases of the Moon are the different shapes and amounts of the Moon's visible surface that we see from Earth as it orbits around our planet. There are 8 main phases of the Moon, and they happen in a specific order. The side of the Moon that's lit by the Sun is facing away from Earth, so we can't see it at all. Waxing crescent. After the new moon, a tiny sliver of the Moon starts to become visible. It looks like a crescent shape. This is the beginning of the Moon's journey from being mostly dark to becoming a full, bright circle. First quarter. At this point, exactly half of the Moon's face is lit by the Sun, and we can see half of it from Earth. It looks like a half circle. Waxing gibbous. As the Moon continues to orbit the Earth, more and more of it becomes visible. It's more than half, but not quite fully lit. Full moon. This is when the entire side of the Moon facing Earth is lit up by the Sun. It looks like a complete circle and is very bright in the night sky. Waning gibbous. After the full moon, the visible part of the Moon starts to get smaller. It's still more than half, but it's shrinking. Third quarter. At this point, exactly half of the Moon's face is still lit by the Sun, but it's the other half from what we saw in the first quarter. Waning crescent. This is the final phase before the Moon becomes a new moon again. It's a tiny, thin crescent, just like the waxing crescent, but on the other side of the Moon. Then, the cycle starts all over again with another new moon. This whole process takes about 29.5 days to complete, and it's what gives us our different moon phases throughout the month. Solar eclipse. A solar eclipse happens when the Moon moves between the Earth and the Sun, blocking the Sun's light. It makes the Sun look like it's disappearing for a little while. This can only occur during the daytime when the Moon is in just the right position. Remember, never look at a solar eclipse without special eye protection, as it can be harmful to your eyes. Lunar eclipse. A lunar eclipse is when the Earth comes between the Sun and the Moon. This makes the Earth's shadow fall on the Moon, causing the Moon to look darker or turn a reddish color. It happens at night and is safe to watch with your eyes because the Moon is still getting some sunlight through the Earth's atmosphere. What is a universe? Universe encompasses everything we can see with telescopes and things that are beyond our current observations. The universe is everything that exists. It's the vast space that includes all galaxies, stars, planets, and all forms of matter and energy. The universe is incredibly vast and contains billions of galaxies, each with billions of stars, and it's constantly expanding. It's the sum of all space-time, matter, and energy in existence. What is a galaxy? A galaxy is a gigantic system of stars, planets, gas, dust, and dark matter that is held together by gravity. These starry systems can come in different shapes and sizes. Our Milky Way galaxy, for example, is just one of billions of galaxies in the universe. Galaxies can contain anywhere from thousands to billions of stars, and they are the building blocks of the universe, where most of the stars and celestial objects are found. Our galaxy is like a city of stars in the vast cosmic landscape of the universe. Milky Way. The Milky Way is the galaxy in which our solar system, including Earth, is located. It's a vast and flattened spiral galaxy. Imagine it as a giant pinwheel made up of billions of stars, planets, gas, dust, and dark matter, all held together by gravity. Our Sun is just one of those stars, and Earth orbits around it. When we look up at the night sky and see a band of stars stretching across it, we're actually looking at a part of the Milky Way. This band is often referred to as the Milky Way, and it's the combined light of the billions of stars in our galaxy. However, we can't see the full extent of our galaxy from our vantage point. We're inside it. The Milky Way is a vast and beautiful place, and it's just one of billions of galaxies in the universe. Scientists have been studying it for many years to learn more about our cosmic home. What is a solar system? A solar system is a collection of celestial objects, including a star, usually a big one like the Sun, and all the objects that orbit around it. In our case, the Sun is at the center of our solar system, and it has a family of objects that revolve around it. The most important objects in our solar system, besides the Sun, are the planets like Earth, Mars, and Jupiter, as well as their moons, asteroids, comets, and other smaller objects. Our solar system is just one among many in the universe, and each one can be unique in its composition and arrangement. It's like a cosmic family of objects all held together by the Sun's gravity and moving through space together. What are inner and outer planets? The inner planets and outer planets, also known as terrestrial and gas giant planets, are two groups of planets in our solar system. It's like a cosmic family of objects, all held together by the Sun's gravity and moving through space together. They have distinct characteristics based on their location and composition. Inner planets, terrestrial planets. Mercury, closest to the Sun and very hot. It's a rocky planet with a thin atmosphere. Venus, also rocky, it's known for its thick, toxic atmosphere and extreme temperatures. Earth, the only known planet with abundant liquid water and life. It's rocky and has a diverse environment. Mars, known as the red planet, it's rocky and has a thin atmosphere. There's evidence of water. Outer planets, gas giants. Jupiter, the largest planet in the solar system, made mostly of gas and has a strong magnetic field. Saturn, known for its spectacular ring system and is another gas giant. Uranus, a gas giant that rotates on its side, giving it a unique appearance. Neptune, the farthest planet from the Sun, it's another gas giant and has a deep blue color. The inner planets are closer to the Sun, smaller, and made mostly of rock and metal. They have solid surfaces. In contrast, the outer planets are much larger, mostly composed of gas, hydrogen, and helium, and have no solid surface. They are also much colder and located farther from the Sun. What is a comet? A comet is a small celestial object made up of dust, rock, ice, and gas that orbits the Sun. Comets are often described as dirty snowballs because they consist of a nucleus, solid core, of ice and dust surrounded by a glowing coma, a hazy glowing cloud, and they can have a long, bright tail that points away from the Sun. Comets typically have highly elliptical orbits, which means they can spend most of their time in the outer regions of the solar system, where it's very cold, and then they swing in closer to the Sun, where they heat up. When this happens, the ices on the comet's nucleus start to vaporize, creating the coma and tail. The tail of a comet is always directed away from the Sun due to the solar wind and radiation pressure. Comets are some of the most fascinating objects in the night sky, and they have been observed for centuries. They are often unpredictable in their appearances, and when a bright comet is visible, it can be quite a spectacular sight. What is a meteor? A meteor is a streak of light that we see in the night sky when a small object from space, called a meteoroid, enters Earth's atmosphere and burns up due to friction with the air. The bright, glowing trail of light it creates is what we call a meteor, and it's sometimes referred to as a shooting star, even though it's not a star at all. A meteoroid is a small piece of an asteroid or a comet. Meteors can vary in size from tiny grains of sand to larger rock-sized objects. Most of them are relatively small and completely disintegrate in the atmosphere. However, if a meteoroid is large enough to survive the journey through the atmosphere and reach the Earth's surface, it's then called a meteorite. Meteor showers are events when a larger number of meteors can be seen in the night sky. They occur at specific times of the year when the Earth passes through the debris left behind by a comet, causing more meteoroids to enter the atmosphere and create a higher number of visible meteors. What is a meteorite? A meteorite is a solid fragment of a meteoroid that survives its journey through Earth's atmosphere and lands on the Earth's surface. Meteorites are small objects from space, and when they enter the Earth's atmosphere, they create a streak of light called a meteor. Most meteors burn up completely in the atmosphere, but if a fragment of the meteoroid makes it to the ground, it is referred to as a meteorite. What is a meteoroid? Meteoroids are lumps of rock or iron that orbit the Sun. Just as planets, asteroids, and comets do, meteoroids, especially the tiny particles called micrometeoroids, are extremely common throughout the solar system. Meteoroids come in various sizes and types, and they can provide valuable insights into the composition and history of our solar system. Scientists study meteoroids to learn about the materials from which the solar system formed and how these materials have evolved over time. What is a natural satellite? Give examples of natural satellite. A natural satellite, often simply called a moon, is a celestial object that orbits a planet or a dwarf planet. You are seeing the moons of planet Jupiter. These moons are not man-made but are naturally occurring and held in place by the planet's gravitational force. Moons come in various sizes and can play important roles in their host planet's environment. Examples would be Earth's moon, Luna, Earth's only natural satellite, commonly known as the Moon. Mars's moons. Mars has two small moons, Phobos and Deimos. They are irregularly shaped and much smaller than Earth's moon. Jupiter's moons, Europa, Ganymede, Callisto. Jupiter has over 80 known moons, with the four largest being known as the Galilean moons. They are some of the largest and most fascinating moons in the solar system. Saturn's moons, Titan, Enceladus, Mimas. Saturn has a diverse collection of over 80 moons, including the intriguing Titan, which has a thick atmosphere. Uranus's moons, Titania, Oberon, Miranda. Uranus has 27 known moons, with some of the major ones being Titania and Oberon. Neptune's moons, Triton, Nereid. Neptune has 14 known moons, with Triton being the largest and most interesting. Triton is one of the few moons that orbits its planet in the opposite direction of the planet's rotation. These natural satellites play various roles, from affecting the tides on Earth to providing insights into the planetary and lunar geology, and they add to the diversity and wonder of our solar system. What is an artificial satellite? Give examples. An artificial satellite is a human-made object that is intentionally placed into orbit around a celestial body, typically a planet, dwarf planet, or natural satellite. These artificial satellites are used for various purposes, including scientific research, communication, navigation, Earth observation, and more. Here are some examples of artificial satellites. Communication satellites. These satellites are placed in geostationary orbit, allowing them to stay fixed relative to a specific point on Earth's surface. Examples include the Intelsat series and the Astra satellites. Navigation satellites. These satellites are part of global navigation systems like the Global Positioning System, GPS. They provide location and time information for navigation. GPS satellites are widely used for various applications. Earth observation satellites. These satellites are used to monitor and study Earth's surface, climate, weather, and environment. Examples include the Landsat series and the Terra and Aqua satellites. Space telescopes. These are used to observe distant celestial objects without the interference of Earth's atmosphere. The Hubble Space Telescope is one of the most famous space telescopes. Scientific satellites. These satellites are designed for specific scientific missions. For example, the Chandra X-ray Observatory studies X-rays from high-energy regions of the universe. Space stations. While not orbiting other celestial bodies, space stations like the International Space Station, ISS, are artificial satellites that orbit Earth. They serve as research platforms and living quarters for astronauts. Military satellites. Some satellites are used for military purposes, such as reconnaissance, surveillance, and communication. These are often classified and their details are not publicly disclosed. Astronomical satellites. These are designed to observe and study distant objects and phenomena in space. Examples include the Kepler Space Telescope and the James Webb Space Telescope. Artificial satellites have become integral to modern life, enabling global communication, navigation, scientific research, and more. They are launched into space using rockets and are controlled and monitored from Earth.